Andrew Weber was a professional soldier who fought in Afghanistan and Iraq. In 2016, he retired as captain. He got a law degree at Northwestern University in Chicago and started working as an international corporate lawyer. But when Russia invaded Ukraine, he decided to go there and fight for Ukraine. He was killed in July 2023 in the Donetsk region, aged 40.
Andrew despised Vladimir Putin and that regime. He called it the regime. And he believed that this invasion was the largest threat to democracy here and abroad, and felt compelled to go.
Lance Lawrence was killed in Ukraine's Donetsk region as well. He was a 28-year-old machine gunner. Lawrence served in the U.S. Marine Corps for 3 years and received the Global War on Terrorism Service Medal and other awards.
He loved Ukraine. He wanted to be a citizen after the war was over, and he did not want to come home, so.
Hundreds of Americans signed up to fight in Ukraine, and at least 30 have been killed, according to the aid group Safe Passage for Ukraine. Others have been wounded and flew home to be treated, but plan to go back to fighting, including this soldier. For security reasons, they asked that we don't show his face.
So in Afghanistan, we had air support, and there was a lot of logistics teams that were ready to jump in and give us everything we needed. And in Ukraine, so many people were doing so much more than we did in Afghanistan with a lot less. And it was very impressive.
Today, these fighters are all members of a delegation that came to the U.S. Congress to urge lawmakers to continue their aid to Ukraine. Willow Andrews' son Cooper, a former Marine, was killed fighting in Ukraine in April 2023.
If a 24-year-old can see what's going on in Ukraine and decide to make an ultimate sacrifice at the age of 24, what's going on with the rest of the leadership in this country?
The delegation's visit to Washington was organized by the charity R.T. Weatherman Foundation.
We wanted to bring all these people together, first just to lean on each other and kind of create a sense of community for these people, just so they don't feel so isolated. But then second, nobody has brought a delegation to Washington, D.C. that's composed of Americans who served in Ukraine, whether they were wounded or killed.
Deputy Director of Operations and military veteran David Bromlett says the foundation has been engaged in evacuating wounded volunteers from Ukraine, as well as the repatriation of the dead.
I spent 2022 fighting in the Foreign Legion in Ukraine, in Kharkiv. In September 2022, one of my teammates was wounded. The foundation stepped in at that time to get him to treatment in Poland. And so I was eternally grateful for that.
The foundation and the veterans' families were happy to learn the $95 billion aid bill for Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan was passed in the Senate early on February 13th. But they say they will keep fighting to see it pass in the House of Representatives as well. For Katerina Lisunova and Irina Shynkarenko in Washington, Anna Rice, VOA News.